In a couple of days, I'm headed to Hong Kong just for a quick little vacation, do some hiking, maybe some exploring. Buying a ticket is easier than I thought. You can either go to the ferry terminal and buy one to get across the bay. I came to the Crowne Plaza Hotel on the 16th floor. They have a VIP business services that you can buy them ahead of time, and that's very, very convenient. And if you're in town, the Crowne Plaza is probably the nicest hotel in town. Just go to the desk, they'll hit you right up, and I think I got it for a better price too. Now, people have been asking me, hey Paul, why don't you upgrade your camera, get better audio, edit better, put some music in your videos, and you know, maybe someday I'll do that, but I don't have the time or the energy, really. I guess I'm a little too lazy to do all of that. That's not really why I do this. I'm not a professional vlogger or anything. Really, the only reason why I do this is to share my time with friends and family. And I might seem ignorant at times, especially when it comes to China, because I don't live here. Well, I've only been here for a year, but I have no plans to live here for very long. I'm not here to stake a claim or settle down or any of that. There are other YouTube channels out there, such as, Lao86, Serpent ZA, and ZA, excuse me, and then there's a couple of others that, have been here for a long period of time. They've gotten married, they've had children, they've settled down, and quite frankly, they just know a lot more than I do. And I highly recommend those channels if you want to really know a lot about it. My channel is more, along the lines of everything that I look at with big bright eyes, because they're so incredible to me. But I'm not a backpacker. I don't travel as much as you would think. I prefer rather to go someplace, live there for a year or two, use it as a base of operations to really explore and get to know the culture, rather than just a week here, a week there. You really can't get the culture by doing that, in my opinion. So my channel isn't necessarily about life on a long-term basis in China, because eventually I will leave China and go someplace else. And it's not a backpacking channel either. It's kind of in between. Go someplace for a year or two, enjoy it, really get to understand it, and once you get that in your head, then it's time to move on. The challenge isn't there anymore. I have been doing these types of walkabouts throughout North America. I've been to all 48 continental states, Canada, and Mexico. I haven't been to Hawaii or Alaska yet. And I've done a little bit in Europe, a little bit in the Middle East, a little bit in Western Asia, but nothing really too big. So, I used to be a hotel manager. I also worked in real estate. I hated going to an office and crunching numbers all day. Working in hotels was fun, but it just didn't pay very much, and it was long hours, and customer service can get to you after doing it for a while. I think anyone who's done that can know that pretty well. Now, walkabout is a term that my Australian friends think is kind of lame, but it's a term that I've been using for quite a while to define what it is I like to do. I just literally like to walk about, and just explore, whether it be in a new country, a new state, or a new city, or down a new alley. It doesn't matter. That's one of my favorite things to do. And yes, it comes from Crocodile Dundee movies of Paul Hogan, which, the first one was kind of cool back in the 80s, right? Everyone loved it. Then they got progressively worse until the latest one, which was like Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles or something, and it was just terrifically horrible. But that's kind of where it comes from. He was from Walkabout Creek, but I remember at the end of the movie he said he's going to go on Walkabout, and that's basically the same idea as every man has to go to sea. Every man has to get out there and see the world. You can't be stuck behind a desk working 10, 12 hours a day in Excel, being a slave to somebody else who pays them just enough money so that they don't quit the next day. That lifestyle, I've done it. It gets old really fast, and I never want to do it again. It was common for me to quit my job on a whim and just get on a train in California, and 3 months later I'm in Key West, or I'm in New York City, or in Montana, or Seattle, or Vancouver. It doesn't really matter. I just was someplace else, and I didn't come home. And I didn't come home until I just got tired, I missed my family, or I ran out of money. So that's what I called my walkabouts. I had no direction. I had no destination. I literally just, what's down that street? Let's take a look. What's the next city on the map? Never been there. Let's go check that out. I love that attitude. There are many people I've met in life with that attitude. I've met lawyers and doctors who just quit their job and just wander. And here in Asia, they're everywhere. Not so much here in China, but definitely in Southeast Asia. Some people call it backpacking. I'm too old to backpack. I don't stay in hostels. I'm kind of a hotel nerd, being an ex-hotel manager. I will spend the money and stay in nice hotels because I know what goes on at hotels, and I will pay the extra money to ensure that I have clean sheets on my bed. As far as Rojo goes, it's Rojo, the Spanish for red. I picked up that nickname 25 years ago when I was working at a summer camp in California. Believe it or not, even though as white as I am, I do have some Spanish blood in me, hence the dark eyes, and me being a ginger. You know, if I grow my hair out, it is bright red. So I developed the name Rojo because I'm got some Spanish and I have red hair. So it just kind of stuck. And I dig it, you know, it works for me. But the Walkabout Rojo, that's where the name comes from, but for the most part. In the next couple of episodes, I'll be in Hong Kong. I've only been to Hong Kong once before. I stayed in Mong Kok, which is on the Kowloon side, in a decent hotel. Worked. It's obviously very expensive there. But I went to Victoria Peak and I had a nice dinner and I did a little shopping, but I didn't really see it. So this time I'm going to go. Unfortunately, I think it's going to rain. And I was looking forward to doing some hiking in the mountains near there. There's supposed to be some great hikes. So we'll see what I'm going to play it by ear, and I'm just going to walk about the island a little bit and see what kind of trouble I can get into. And I'll hope to take as much video as I can so that I can share it with you.